Alright, what's up guys, it's KOSDFF here, and today I'm going to tell you guys how I started YouTube, or how I got into YouTube, why I started my YouTube channel. I get a lot of comments, a lot of questions, how I started, and tips and tricks for them for how they can grow their channels, or how they can get into it. And when I really thought about it, I really have never done a video like totally dedicated to explaining like how I fell into YouTube, because I 100% fell into this. At no point did I set out to be a YouTuber. When I started YouTube, there was only like a handful of big YouTubers that were really doing it big and making a living off it and doing all that stuff. And obviously it exploded over the last 3 or 4 years, and I was lucky enough to ride that wave. A lot of you guys know I went to college and then law school after that I actually went out and got degrees. And I know a lot of you are probably shocked that I do YouTube and esports and all this other random stuff when I have all these degrees, and it seems like I went to school for a really long time to be a certain thing, and this not being it. And you wouldn't be wrong. Initially I wanted to be a tax attorney so I could go out to companies and help them, structure their expenditures and capital gains, and when they recognize stuff, and when they build here, or how much debt they could take on, just all the tax complications of every financial decision a company makes. This wasn't something I was extremely passionate about, but it was something that I understood. It was something that I studied in college as well, because I did accounting. And to be totally honest, it was just something that I found easier than everything else. And therefore I kind of liked it, because it was a field everybody needed. Everybody needs an accountant, everyone has to pay taxes, and everybody needs a lawyer every now and then. Whether you realize it or not, somehow you've benefited from the work of or a product of an attorney somewhere down the line. And getting a job was really the only thing I was concerned about, and I really wanted to stay in school as long as I could. And it all started with Call of Duty, of course. Right around like the end of my second year of law school, I started getting into playing Call of Duty with my friend Brandon. He was really into Call of Duty Zombies and Modern Warfare 2, and I would go over to his apartment and we would play that shit like all night. And eventually we became roommates, and we even land up our PlayStation 3 so that we could play all the time. This is when Modern Warfare 2 was out. And more I spent like almost all my spare time playing Call of Duty. Now originally it didn't start off like that. Originally it was just something we would do on the weekends, and then eventually it was just something I would do when I was bored every now and then eventually I bought a mic. And this is really what unlocked Call of Duty for me, because you could talk to other random people, and interacting with other people would just make the hours fly by, and like the whole social part of Call of Duty was like really fun, because even though you could be alone in your apartment, you could be playing with like people from all over the country, and you're all in this lobby like playing together and stuff like that. And if you saw my past video about being totally alone, I was out here in Oklahoma where I didn't know a whole lot of people, I had very few friends. I spent all my time doing schoolwork, so when I had like an hour or half an hour every other day, I would spend it playing Call of Duty. And because I had a mic and I have this like tendency to just to talk to random people all the time and try to make everybody laugh and stuff like that, I eventually made some friends online, and we started a little clan called iMob, which we later found out was the name of some like hacking clan. So we got a lot of hate just for being iMob, and we thought we were just getting hate because we were doing well and like winning lobbies and stuff like that. But no, they were hating on us because they thought we were hackers. And for literally 6 months, we had no idea why everyone called us hackers, because we were that random. But through having this little Call of Duty clan, eventually I ran into a guy named Corey, and I met him like right around Black Ops 1, where they had theater mode for the first time. And what he would do is he would hit these amazing clips and then upload them to Facebook. Now he wouldn't set music to them or edit them like, the crazy montages that we're used to nowadays. He would just put in like crazy kill chains and feeds and different things like that, and he would always tag them machinima worthy ? And I never really knew what that meant, because I would Google machinima, and obviously you guys would know that would come up with, the actual definition of machinima, not the YouTube network that he was referencing. So after about like 2 or 3 minutes of Googling, I eventually landed on their YouTube channel, and on that YouTube channel they had these montages of all these people landing like quad feeds. They had all this crazy editing and all this music, and I instantly fell in love. I absolutely loved these Call of Duty montages, and set my mind to eventually be good enough so that I could make one. And I'm talking, this is like the old days. This is like the Optic Predator days. This is like the Phase Agony days, when he was like making his Black Ops 1 montages that were just blowing up all over YouTube. Back in the days of like Baker's Edits and Hazard Cinema and Best One Clip Edits. Flatline editing, I want to say it was Flatline editing. I'm pretty sure it was Flatline editing. So I became really addicted to watching all these montages on YouTube of all these different Call of Duty players and all these different clans, and how artistic and epic they can make their kill chains and their kill feeds and all that shit. So I set out to do that exact thing. I think the very next week I went out to Best Buy and bought a Hauppauge HD PVR, I want to call it, and began collecting clips from myself and my friends and everyone in our little group. And we go into theater mode and we watch all the clips with the whole clan. They'd all have to shut up when I would record them, and we pick basically the best clips from everyone. Now we're complete randos and we weren't that good, so we were putting in like quad feeds with red guns and like 3 pieces with sniper rifles. Nothing terribly impressive, but for the most part the only thing that I could really land that was really cool, that I could make cool montages out of, was like across the map tomahawks. My first videos were tomahawk montages, and I put it to this really really epic music, and I called the first one Flight of the Tomahawks. It was all about me landing tomahawks from like across the map, and the camera would follow the tomahawk. And I set it to this extremely epic music, but back then I didn't know about copyright stuff on YouTube. What's the big deal? I never thought I would get paid for it anyway, so I just uploaded it. Eventually got copyrighted and taken down, so that video is no longer on YouTube. But that wasn't the only thing I did with my capture card. I also set out to make these live commentaries where I would just run around free-for-all and like talk smack as I would pwn people. Except for I really wouldn't do that well, so half the time I would just end up talking smack, and they are absolutely terrible. The quality is shit. You can hardly hear me over the game sounds. My jokes are nowhere near funny. It's just me being incredibly cocky. But really, with my setup back then, I really couldn't play unless I was watching the actual HD PVR software on my screen, so there was a little bit of a lag, so I didn't really record a whole bunch of like Call of Duty, because that like difference in latency made it where I like wasn't that good, so I didn't want to record myself doing shitty and like all these crappy gameplays, so I didn't really do all Call of Duty. But it is funny to think back now that I had originally started out just running around Call of Duty and uploading myself talking smack to random people. That was really only in the beginning, because I eventually switched to Let's Plays, and I played a whole bunch of games. I played like Red Dead Redemption, I played a shit ton of Minecraft and all the Minecraft mods, and made all these like Let's Plays, and I eventually ended up uploading every single day of all these different Minecraft videos and Let's Plays and commentaries. And really my channel eventually ended up being like mostly Minecraft for a solid year, as I stopped uploading Call of Duty almost entirely, and I went on like uploading like that for a while. Now a lot of people ask me for some tips and tricks of how I got started. How did I get that like first 5 to 10 people to my channel to watch my videos? Back then they had a shit ton of Call of Duty forums, and I would go in these Call of Duty forums in their video like section, and I would post all my videos and ask for feedback, and they would just tear my shit to shreds. They would roast you like Reddit would roast you, and just tell you how absolutely horrendous your video was. But if you could sift through all the insults, you could usually find some valuable information about how to make your videos better. And I met a lot of other YouTubers on that forum. A lot of people started there. So Close to Toast was one of them. Soprano Pictures was another. There was this other guy who was like Canadian. He would do these roast videos. This is how I originally like attracted people to my channel. But it kind of went on like that for a while. For like 2 to 3 years, I uploaded every single day and really only got like 1,000 views per video. Never got more than like 100 comments. At most, I was seeing like 100,000 views a month, and that was only because I'd have like a couple videos that would go big, but really most of my videos would do pretty terrible. But we all start somewhere, and really I just enjoyed doing it. It was a hobby that I did with my friends. Because I kept on moving around the country, because I eventually finished law school and graduated and moved back to North Carolina, almost everyone I socialized with and people that I was friends with were all online at this point. So really I just kind of brought them with me. But eventually something clicked. I guess one day I sat there and I stared at my channel, and it was something that I wasn't exactly proud of, or it was something that I had a lot of fun doing, but I didn't see going anywhere. And all my friends were involved with YouTube at this point in some respect or another, or really had a lot of fun doing it. And it was something I want to keep on doing. And I'll be honest, like back then in the broke days, right when I graduated from school, that $100, $200 I was making a month off of YouTube was so much to me. But there was like a month or two, I was really on the fence about continuing my YouTube channel. I think I even tweeted out at one point that I was going to stop doing it, because I had broken up with my girlfriend that I was filming a lot of these videos with, and a lot of my friends that I was making these videos with. It kind of dissipated. Now I had made new friends, but a lot of them, you know, just got caught up with their own lives. It had been like 2 or 3 years that we've been together doing this stuff. You know, people grow and, you know, eventually graduate school or move out of their house or have to go take on a new job, and we all just kind of really grew apart. So at one point I was really struggling with the idea of whether I should continue YouTube or not. And I was also going through the trouble of finding a job. I graduated right in the middle of the recession. And if you guys didn't know, during a recession, like law school and grad school and college applications go through the roof, because everyone decides just to go to school instead of look for a job. So finding a job was proving extremely difficult. And it was something that everyone was telling me to expect, that it might take like 6 months to a year to find your first lawyer job. Because let's face it, you're a baby lawyer, then the only thing you've done is taken a test and, you know, spent a couple years reading textbooks. And also I had really fallen in love with gaming. And thanks to another YouTuber that came at me with the project that I could join him in, I got to see the business side of gaming, and I absolutely fell in love. I was like, man, there's so much growth potential here, especially in esports and game development, and just as a multimedia platform. As a medium, gaming is about to be the biggest thing ever, and I really wanted to get involved with it. And right around the same time, Jimmy, or Chaos X Silencer, hit me up to start Team Kaliber. Now originally it wasn't going to be Team Kaliber. Originally he wanted to start a pistols only clan, and we were going to do that because there was knife only clans and there was sniper clans. There was no pistol clans, said Jimmy. And we were like, wow, that sounds like a great idea, because we didn't want to hurt his feelings. But after like a couple of days when he came at us asking like what was our real opinion, we thought that was kind of silly, that although it'd be kind of cool in the beginning, it'd probably lose its gimmick because let's face it, it's pistols. So Jimmy being Jimmy and the rest of us being pumped to actually get together and do something, we decided to do everything, and we started all these divisions and eventually got a pro team. We brought in all our friends from YouTube, and some of them ended up blowing up and some of them didn't. But we really just brought in everyone we knew into this organization, and we called it Team Kaliber. Now right about this time, I believe I had like 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. So my channel had seen some growth, and the reason for this is because we had started Team Kaliber and we were obviously getting so involved with Call of Duty, and although I played Call of Duty the most out of like all games, it wasn't something that I uploaded to YouTube. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, and I actually stopped playing that moment and went to record a video proclaiming I was done with Let's Plays, I was done playing random games, I was done doing Minecraft like 100%. I had played the absolute shit out of that game, totally over it. Basically told my entire subscriber base that I was gonna stop all the content that they had subscribed for in the first place, and that I was just gonna upload myself playing Call of Duty. So I just started uploading random videos of me going around talking smack in lobbies, and eventually, like I said before, Team Kaliber picked up a pro team, and I met Sharp, and he liked to do that too, so we got together and we would just go into like random S&D lobbies and talk shit to everybody. Now around about this time, I'd gotten back into editing. Now it was something that I was always kind of into, but I'd like fallen out of for a really long time because I got really into doing Let's Plays and playing Minecraft and stuff like that. But I decided to pick it back up because I needed an intro. Now back then I was totally unaware that there were people out there that you could just pay and they would make you a really professional 3D intro. I thought everybody that had these things were making them themselves. And this was totally reasonable because you had all these tutorials on YouTube that could teach you how to do absolutely everything. And moreover, they had all these templates that you could use and just change little things so you could make yourself a really good looking intro. But of course, me, I get really into stuff, so I got really into watching like all these tutorials and checking out everyone's intros and watching people kind of do the breakdowns of them and learning about all these new effects and researching different plugins and testing my computer on what it could render, because sometimes I would render stuff and no lie, it would take like 4 days. But apparently I was pretty good at it because other YouTubers started hitting me up and wanting to buy intros off of me. So another way I supplemented my income in the very early days when I was delivering pizza and studying for the bar and somewhat depending on that $200 I was getting from YouTube, I started to sell these intros, and I started to sell them for more and more because I started to put more and more into them. Like the first intro I sold, I think I sold it for like $40, no lie. And then the next one I sold was for $100, and then the next one I sold was for $500 because it took me longer to make. And eventually it got to the point where I sold a couple for like $1,000. And I would spend every spare minute of my time in like 2 weeks sometimes rendering these damn things. And you can still find a lot of them on YouTube. I did so many for so many different YouTubers, I couldn't even tell you all of them. But right around then, our sponsors at Team Kaliber started to notice I was really good at these videos, and a couple of them hit me up to do kind of like advertisements for them. I did a couple for GFUEL, I did a couple for 812 Gum, I did a couple for some other random clients, and eventually SCUF Gaming, one of the sponsors of Team Kaliber, hit me up to do this really elaborate ad for their Ghost controller. And apparently I did such a good job, I blew them away, that they instantly wanted to hire me again, and I spent forever making their SCUF 1 ad. Now I did this whole thing from North Carolina, kind of like telecommuting, at the same time as working at Papa John's, at the same time as uploading every day, at the same time running Team Kaliber. Basically, I didn't sleep. I was working non-stop, like to the bone. But eventually this light shined down on me and I got a really good opportunity. I got my first job offer, and it was actually from SCUF Gaming, and if you want to hear more about that, you can actually go watch the video where I talk about my first job, and you can hear all about me going to work at SCUF Gaming. And if you don't know who that is and you're watching a COD video, you're crazy. It's like the best custom controller you can ever get. Like all the pros use them. It's like totally necessary, especially now that you're flying all around the map. But it was right around when I moved to Atlanta and started working at SCUF Gaming that my YouTube channel finally started to take off. As you guys know, I was friends with Chaotic Silencer, and I was also really good friends with a guy named Minnesota Burns, and they owned this channel called Trollarch Office. And well, I made trolling videos and happened to be really good friends with them, so they uploaded like every good video I made to that channel, and it totally juiced the shit out of my YouTube channel, and I eventually got up to like 300K. And it was in a very short time. It was like over 6 months. And during this time, I got to go to a whole bunch of events to watch Team Kaliber and got to meet a whole bunch of people in the industry and got to say that I managed Team Kaliber, and I also worked at SCUF Gaming, so I was just instantly accepted. Well, for the most part, you know how people can be. But really, for the first time, I had finally landed a solid position in gaming. My YouTube channel was earning good. I really nuzzled into my job at SCUF Gaming and really loved working with the people I worked with there, and everyone there is like totally fucking awesome. And of course, they sponsored Team Kaliber, so I got to see them like design our controller and got to see all the parts when they came in. And Team Kaliber was placing really well. I don't think we like placed out of top 6 for like a good year and a half. And everything really just started to take off. But really, like I said before, I just didn't sleep. My days now consisted of waking up at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, getting to work, spending a whole 8 hours of work at SCUF Gaming, going home, filming, editing, and posting that day, and running Team Kaliber all at the same time. Meaning I was up to about 2 or 3 in the morning, waking back up at like 6 or 7 to start the day, and I would do that 5 days a week and really just crash on the weekends. And to add to stuff, my girlfriend moved in with me, so I just literally had no time whatsoever. And it got to the point where eventually I had to ask SCUF Gaming if I could leave, and they said yes, and they were totally supportive, and they were extremely excited that I was going to be quitting to go like chase YouTube dreams. And they were always really proud of how my channel had grown, and they of course always heard about it because I talked about it all the damn time. But nah, they were really gracious about letting me go. I ended up putting like half time in for the next 3 months so they could transition someone to do my job. And really, I'm guessing it's at this point in the timeline that you guys all joined in. It was right around when Team Kaliber was really hitting the scene, and you know, Call of Duty was growing. Of course, it was right around when trolling videos were like all the rage and everybody was uploading them. And really, the rest is history. The only thing that happened after that, YouTube related, is we eventually moved into the TK house in Atlanta, and then a year later we moved here to New York in the GFUEL house, and we're 80K away from 1 million subscribers. So my life really went from like the most hellish educational environment you can imagine, being buried in textbooks and having no life and studying all the time, just having this small hobby, to barely getting by doing all these things looking for a job, to randomly working at the best custom controller company in the world and starting one of the largest Call of Duty organizations that exists, and growing a YouTube channel that's getting close to 1 million subscribers. And it really is just all thanks to you guys and just pure determination, and honestly probably mostly luck. I would say it's like 95% luck that you guys actually enjoy my videos and got the smallest amount of amusement out of my trolling videos and different commentaries. And now that I'm doing vlogs, I'm just totally stoked that you guys are even watching that shit. To be totally honest, like to be dead real, like YouTube to me has always been something like a backup plan or just something I did for fun or a hobby. And at some point it became my life, and not a life of just making videos and uploading it, but really to like creating an environment for all my friends to get together and do it all together and fly around the country to go watch events and watch our friends compete, to doing all different kinds of content just like anywhere we can do it, and literally just waking up every single day looking to create. Now, I could have never told you that was going to happen. Now, a few of you that have watched like my early videos might have caught that I originally went to school to be a director, that I was really excited about film, and I went to this UNC Greensboro college that had this director program that I wanted to get into, but eventually just lost interest in it and stuff, and kind of just like found that passion again making YouTube videos. I would have never in a million years thought it would have ended up here. And I don't really want to get all mushy because I just wanted to tell you guys like how I accidentally fell into YouTube and how lucky I got and how much work it took. But it really is thanks to you guys that I get to live with my friends and do whatever the hell we want. Basically just have fun for a living. Now that's my version of it, and it could change because people change. Most people change their careers like 4 or 5 times in their lifespan. So if you guys wanted advice on how to start a channel, how to do all that stuff, I would say, you know, maybe upload it some forum and then have a shit ton of patience because it's going to take absolutely forever. But if you just wanted some general advice, I would say chase whatever the fuck makes you happy. Hopefully someone will pay you to do it, or maybe it's got some kind of worth to society so that you can get by on it. But somehow, in one way or another, everything ends up working out, and that if you actually chase something, you know, lightning might strike, and you could go from law school to being a trolling YouTuber who owns an esports team. You guys literally saved my life and then gave me the ability to enjoy every minute of it. And I owe that all to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you want more of these stupid story commentaries. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys tomorrow.